Hey dudes, my name's Kevin Duty. You're watching Duty's Daggers. First of all, before we start, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and do it. You'll be glad that you did. We have some fun on this channel. And also follow me, Duties_Daggers on Instagram. So today, I figured I would just update you guys on my latest knife purchases that I've made in the last couple weeks. Some of these you might have seen in videos or unboxings if you follow my channel. But if you don't, then these will be probably either all new to you or mostly new to you. I've made some pretty awesome purchases the last couple weeks. I've been fortunate to be able to afford some, a couple higher end things that I usually can't. So I'm really happy to add some more premium knives to the collection, and a couple really inexpensive knives that I love equally. Just goes to show that you don't always need to pay the big bucks to have a knife, to get a knife that you love. So let's start. Let's start with this one, because this is the one that I probably have had the longest out of the bunch, and this is my Chavez scapegoat. Now, I'm going to be doing a full review on this guy in the next couple days. Yes, my thumb is bloody. I just actually cut it with this knife, and I'll show you why in a second. I love this thing. It's thick, it's beefy, it's got full titanium construction without any milling on the inside for weight relief. So it's a chunky boy, and I just freaking love it. Look at that, just mean blade, man. The point's pretty low, so it's good for utility. Really deep choke up spot, finger choil there. It's so deep that this edge almost, it's very close to the end of your knuckle there, which is kind of cool. I really like it. Very comfortable. You have the Chavez signature skull clip there, titanium frame lock, and look at this action, baby. Ooh, baby. Oh. Unbelievably smooth. Great thumb stud action. Now, the reason I cut myself is because if you do this, where you let the blade drop, if you're too far back, this falls down, and right where it transitions into the choil, that little point gets your thumb. So what I usually do when I close the knife is I use my finger here to get past that detent ball, and then I'm free to swing it shut. So just something to be aware of. It's not a really big deal. I wish that the blade didn't have to travel so far for that detent ball to jump up on the face of the tang there, but it's okay. It's okay. We got used to just doing that. Bam, nice and easy. Really love this knife. They're kind of hard to find. I got this one used. Usually, as soon as they drop, they sell out. But keep your eyes open on the secondary and wait for a drop so you can get one as well. Okay, next. You might have seen this one before as well. It's been in a couple of videos, but I just freaking love it. I'll do just a quick little overview. This is the Savvi Lumi. Very thin, sleek design. Thin, small. No flipper tab or anything poking out here, so it's very sleek. And check this out. Bam! Oh, love that action. It's a top flipper. You can see it just poking out the top very minimally, so you can reach around and do that. You can flip it like a regular front flipper, and it's just so easy to pop this blade out. It pops out so quick too. It's almost like it's just magically in the open position. It's that fast. Really thin blade, hollow grind, very pointy. This thing is just really fun to mess around with. Really good knife for when you need a nice light one. Alright, let's talk about a couple slip joints. So this is the Rough Rider APTA in copper, and I love it. I absolutely love it. It's 24 bucks. It's a Rough Rider. It's got really good pull, really good walk and talk, meaning that the half stop here, you get a nice click. It's nice and stiff, and then going to the open position, you get a nice pop. It's just really satisfying to operate. And I put an edge on this guy. Now you can see how thick it gets here at the point. It's like insanely thick right here. So my edge bevel got pretty wide down there at the tip, which you know, it's fine. It's much thicker than it is back here. That's just because it's so thick up here that to keep a consistent angle, this is wider up here. But, you know, it's not a bad thing. Some people don't like the look of it. I don't mind it. I used this thing the other day to cut a lot of cardboard and leather, and your pointer finger just rests right there perfectly. Draw cuts. This thing slices very well, despite being nice and thick up here. I love how the copper is patina-ing. This thing is sweet. Now let's talk about a more expensive slip joint, the Benchmade Proper. Now, this thing has its major drawbacks. Let me just say that. But, however, it really is growing on me. When I first got it, it was very gritty in the pivot. It felt just, you know, nowhere near the pop that you got with the APTA here. And it still doesn't. But I ended up lubing up the pivot in here with my Tough Glide knife lube. And it got significantly better. It's much more smooth feeling in the pivot here. You're not really getting that nice pop like you do with the Rough Rider, but it is significantly improved. And aside from the kind of weaker backspring, I really am digging this knife, man. The micarta is very high quality. It's soft but also grippy. I think it looks badass with this lanyard I put on it. I don't usually put lanyards on knives, but this one just needed it. I really love the blade shape. Very good for utility cuts, kind of like the APTA, except the tip is lower on this one, so this one's actually even better. It's just, I think it's a really good looking knife. It's a very cool take on kind of a modern, a classic pattern, but with modern elements. We are perfectly centered. There's no blade play at all. This thing is solid, very lightweight. I don't know. It's just I've been really liking having a really nice, lightweight, smaller knife to just toss in my pocket when I'm wearing sweats or basketball shorts or something around the house and doing chores or whatever. This is just so easy to throw in the pocket. You know, there's no pocket clip, which you know, you're wearing basketball shorts, you probably don't want a pocket clip anyways. And I'm just finding this thing to be very useful and very fun to carry. So it absolutely has grown on me. At first, when I opened it, I was considering selling it right away, but it's really growing on me. It's good steel, S30V, and I just think it's a good design. There's both of them side by side there. Excuse me. Now, moving on here, this next one has been out for a long time, and it may be one of the most famous knives ever created, and it's the Savvi Elementum. I have never owned one. I have handled one before this. I got one for my dad for a Father's Day gift, engraved, and I liked it. I handled it for a little bit when I gave it to him, and I figured I needed to get one just to have in the collection for a size comparison when I'm doing knife reviews, and just to have it. And I don't know. I'm not in love with it. I do not love this knife. I understand why people do love it, and it is a very just good, straightforward knife design. It's got a nice hollow grind. It's thin at the edge. Really useful blade shape. Comfortable, neutral handle. A little bit of a choke-up spot. Deep carry clip. It's a good size. You know, it's got a lot of the good things going for it, but it just doesn't give me that kind of spice that I like in my knives. It's almost a little too bland, and that's not the same thing as a clean design. When I think of a clean design, I think of something kind of like the Scapegoat here. There's not a whole lot going on, but what is going on is very, very well thought out, and it's just got a little bit of spice in it, even though there's nothing blingy. It's just got a certain spice to it that the Elementum just doesn't do for me. That being said, you know, it's a great knife. This one, the D10 is pretty stiff, but not too stiff. I think it's impossible to fail this knife. I tried. But the D10 is honestly like literally perfect because it doesn't hurt my finger, but yet I cannot fail it at all. So that's got it going for it for sure. It's not like fall shut action or anything. You can shake it down. I don't know. I ended up acid washing the blade. So that gave it a little bit of something. I don't know. I'm either going to give this away or maybe customize it and then give it away. But I'm just not in love with it. I think the worst thing about it is the lock bar access, which is pretty bad. You're kind of it's kind of hard to get in there. But anyways, Savvi Elementum, there it is. All right, last one, my most recent acquisition, the Microtech Ultratech. Ooh, look at that. This is kind of a pieced together Ultratech. The frame here is actually from a signature series, and it originally had the Hellhound style blade in it, but the previous owner had done a blade swap on it. And let's see what the blade is. It's actually the Tonto Bounty Hunter blade from the Star Wars Bounty Hunter Ultratech. So I think that's badass. I'm not a huge fan of the Hellhound blade anyways. I think this is a much better blade for practical EDC reasons. This thing is really cool. The only other Microtech I have ever owned was the UTX 85, which is the step down from this in size. It's it's 85% the size of this one, which is why it's called the UTX 85. It's about this big. So I'm really loving this thing. Yeah, it fires hard. It's fun. It's got a glass breaker. This pocket clip works great. Typical Microtech pocket clip. Aluminum handle. The button's a little bit rattly, but in my experience, all Microtechs are kind of have a little bit of rattly buttons. Not the end of the world. Got a little bit of blade play too, but that's just what you get with OTFs, except for some very expensive ones. And I like the blade a lot. It's got kind of a gray stonewash on the bevels and the swedge, and then a satin flat, and then a black inside the fuller there. The one thing I'm a little bit worried about is breaking the tip. This thing is extremely thin right at the tip. It's insane. I mean, it's good for piercing, piercing tasks. I'm a little bit worried of breaking it off. I don't think it would, but I don't know. The blade steel on this is going to be either M390 or 204P. It doesn't say on here, but that's what Microtech uses for everything, so it's one of the two. And yeah, I'm really liking it. It's great to have an OTF back in the collection. Yeah, I think everyone should have one. They're just freaking cool, man. So that's my most recent acquisitions. Let's line them all up here in descending size. We had the Microtech Ultratech, the Chavez Scapegoat, the Savvi Elementum, the Rough Rider APTA. I'm going to put a link for all these below, the ones that I can. I really recommend you guys get this one. It's $24, man. You cannot go wrong. You cannot. I cannot. The Benchmade Proper, and then the Savvi Lumi. That's it. Thanks for watching, folks. I'll see you in the next video. Adios.